Welcome back, NoDQ Galaxy, to a brand new edition of not Virtue's Rage, but the NoDQ review right here on NoDQ.com. And just get ready because we have a special guest this evening. Besides myself and Aaron Rift, we have Big G here, we have Steve-O here, and ladies and gentlemen, we have Santa Claus is here with us tonight.
Hello, NoDQ Galaxy.
On the NoDQ review. Yes, Santa Claus better have caught up on his wrestling because we have some hot topics this evening. Santa, I'm going to come right over to you. Ho, ho, ho.
Thank you for the introduction, Virtue. I greatly appreciate that, young sir.
What's going on? You're a busy man this time of year. I mean, I'm glad you had time.
The things here at the North Pole, we are busy, but I wanted to take at least, knowing me and how long-winded other people can get on the show, I'm going to try to keep it to a minimal, but I wanted to come on for this hour and join all of you for this very special day.
All right. Well, this will be interesting. And we'll even see if the NoDQ Galaxy, maybe they're going to send some super chats and ask you for some Christmas gifts this year. We will see.
I welcome that. Yes, definitely.
Steve-O, what's up? Welcome back to the review.
Thank you, guys. Always a pleasure to be on. Shout out to Santa Claus. I'll always be in depth for you giving me a Sega Genesis and Sonic 2 for 1992 Christmas. I'm ready to talk wrestling with all you guys. I'm just ready to go.
Cool. And this is 164, by the way. We are trudging along, and one of these days we'll actually hit 200. Wow, Aaron. Seems like we just started this yesterday. And, of course, he's in his Christmas sweater. He is happy to be here.
Yes.
Big G, a staple of the NoDQ Galaxy. What's up?
Doing pretty good. Just adopted another kitten today, Harley's brother, Joker. So we got 2 kittens now in the house, and the Harley is not digging Joker right now. How about them apples? Anyways, like you said, Richie, I'm always happy to be here. Santa Claus, it's always great to see you. You know, my 2 nieces just enjoyed seeing you last year. Hopefully, I can get them again to see you this year.
You can get on a visit from Santa again this year.
Yep. Other than that, I am ready to get this ball rolling.
All right. And, of course, we go over to Aaron Rift before we start the show.
Yeah, I'm happy to have Santa on with us tonight. Now, some might think, why not wait until the last NoDQ review before Christmas? But we figured Santa has some stuff he would like to promote. We'll get it done sooner so he can promote that and have a few weeks for people to know about what's going on with Santa's life and what he's putting out there for everybody. So we'll talk about that at the end. Make sure you guys stick it out for the plugs. The plugs sometimes have the best moments of the NoDQ review. I know some of you just like to click out, but I'm telling you, the plugs can be very entertaining parts of this live stream. Now, we do have a few super chats before we get started here. Psycho Jet Black with the $2 super chat says, better Santa, Tim Allen or Richard Attenborough? I would say Tim Allen, but my all-time favorite Santa is the one that's with us, the real Santa. You know, those guys are not the real Santa.
I appreciate that. If we're gonna have to choose between my cinematic portrayers, you have to go with Tim Allen or Richard Attenborough. Richard Attenborough was great, no doubt about it, but he was merely a remake of the great Edmund Gwynn. So there you go.
All right, let's get to this other super chat real quick. James sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, James. He says, Santa, how about a hello to the kids, Jaden and Ty? I'll screen grab it to show them. NoDQ review, spreading the joy.
Well, hello, Jaden and Ty. Thank you for enjoying this edition of the NoDQ review, and make sure you behave yourselves. Don't get on the naughty list. It's so close. Don't have problems now. So close to Christmas. Stay on that nice list, son and kids.
Santa, what everybody wants to know, has Virtue been naughty or nice? Am I on Santa's list this year?
You know, Virtue.
I did retire the Troll Slayer officially.
You did. I'm not gonna lie. You definitely were on the bubble there, but you made it out okay. You're on the nice list this year, my friend.
All right, so I got to maintain. Aaron, are we ready to start the topics this evening?
Let's do it.
Ooh, wait, we got
time out that man right now.
Time
out that man.
Caleb Jacobs wants us to go off topic before we even get to NoDQ After Dark. $4.24 super chat says, "Hey, Virtue, who is your favorite Spider-Man?"
Tobey Maguire.
I agree. And you know what? I'm going to tie that into wrestling. I picked Tobey Maguire because he went toe-to-toe with Bonesaw McGraw. And that was a great cinematic moment, a.k.a. the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah.
Wrestling tie-in.
Aaron,
There you
Sam
go.
Raimi, I believe, did those original Spider-Mans too.
Yeah.
He's awesome. I mean, I know the third one was a mixed bag, but it was.
I
still
liked
good.
the third one. I liked when
Same.
Toby kind of went heel there for a little bit.
His little dance coming out, you know.
I think
Little
3
Mamba.
doesn't get enough credit. It's a
I like
pretty
3.
interesting movie.
It had a
Sandman
lot
was
of
a great
story
villain.
arcs. It had a lot of story arcs in it, and I think it was just too much for some people. But I liked it. All right, we're going to start because we got to get Santa's opinion on these topics. So the first topic, 2021 is almost over, and I want to know everybody here in the NoDQ Galaxy, including Santa Claus, who your favorite or the best, however you want to describe it, tag team of this year has been. That magazine out there obviously anointed who? The Young Bucks, number 1, and Lucha, whatever the Lucha Brothers tag team, number 2, and I think Usos were up there like 4, and NoDQ has its poll running. So, Big G, I'm looking at you right in the middle of my screen. I'm going to start with you because before you hear anybody else's opinions other than that one wrestling publication, who would you pick?
So obviously it's not the Young Bucks.
Shayna and Nia?
No.
Oh.
Number 1, it's 1A and 1B. Number 1A is Usos and 1B are the Lucha Brothers. I think the Usos, ever since Jimmy came back, they've never really had a bad match. They're always on top, always good matches. Same thing with the Lucha Brothers, you know, very good tag teams. Young Bucks, I mean, they'd be like in the top 5 or top 10 of my list, but 1A Usos, 1B Lucha Brothers.
And Big G, I know that wrestling publication, they go by kayfabe and how strong they were booked. And I know Mr. Tito said the Usos weren't together most of the year. I mean, we're not putting a magazine out there based on how companies book these wrestlers, but I like your picks. So, you know, of course, now I'm going to go over to Santa Claus. Sorry, Steve-O. I really need to see if Santa's been keeping up with his wrestling because, like, we got to know. The world has to know who the best tag team this year is.
Everybody knows, wants to know.
Yeah. Santa.
I apologize. The text messages apparently were not turned off like I thought they were.
Well, it's the kids sending their Christmas wishes to you.
That's right. So I honestly agree with Mr. Tito's tweet in that the Usos weren't a team for a good chunk of this year. If you recall, one of them was on the naughty list for real for a good chunk of the year. So, you know, they weren't a team for a lot of the year. I do agree with the assessment that the Lucha Brothers will definitely be up there, but it's hard to argue with success. And the Young Bucks, you know, be it in business, in reality, help running the company, or, you know, the way they did their matches, the way they had great performances during their matches. So they're definitely in the talk. But I honestly have to, you know, fall in line with the head of the table and say the Usos were the best tag team of the year.
Now, and I'm going to agree. And I'm going to agree not because they're in the bloodline with Roman, but the fact that WWE has basically thrown away tag team wrestling. And here the Usos, I mean, you can even give a good case of the New Day, but here the Usos are together in a meaningful storyline, still doing tag team matches together, whether it was for part of the year or not, in an environment where tag team wrestling really isn't a thing. And here they are and still in the top 5 from that wrestling publication. I've already heard a couple people, including Santa Claus, saying that they're the best. I mean, Young Bucks, somebody's saying they have go-away heat like Virtue, so who would pick the Young Bucks, okay? Steve-O, what are you going to do here?
You know what? I'm actually going to go with the publication, especially since it's going off of kayfabe. But they have been hot all year round. Like, and when it's focusing purely on tag team action, yeah, the Young Bucks are one of the top tag teams this year. They held the tag titles most of the year. I'm trying to remember when exactly they won the belts, but I know I was there live when they lost them to the Lucha Brothers, who are definitely in the equation of being one of the top tag teams of the year. But yeah, for the Usos, the only thing I would say against them, they've been awesome. They've definitely been a highlight of WWE television. but they haven't been together most of the year. I mean, Jay has been doing a heck of a job doing his own thing, like in singles competition. If you would have told me like 5 years ago or even 2 years ago, Jay's going to have an awesome solo story in the WWE, I would have thought you were a liar, but here we are. He's actually done pretty well for himself. But my pick, the Young Bucks have been all over AEW television and been one of the top highlights of the tag team division. So it's kind of hard for me to argue that personally.
Steve-O, you know who got screwed because of how they were booked?
Yeah, who?
And I think that like if you book all these teams equally strong, FTR, I mean, they probably are on paper the best. AEW dicked around with them this year, and nobody's talking about them. So that's not fair, but I have to point that out.
Yeah, I definitely see that.
You're an AEW shill. I get it. You're naturally going to go with, and that's okay, right? That's fine. The Young Bucks were kayfabed to be the best for most of the year, and it's hard to argue with that. Yeah. I mean, could you imagine if they were number 4 on the list and Usos were number 1? That wrestling publication probably lose sales. So I get it.
But let me throw this in.
You cater to your audience, and that's what AEW has done with the Young Bucks. Aaron, I believe it's your turn here.
All right. Well, first of all, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says, what are the best Uso tag team matches of all time? Anything against the Bar, anything against the New Day. Yeah. I think those matches, like that Hell in a Cell match from a few years back, that one was really good. And
you got to remember, they are a tag team in WWE who doesn't really care about tag teams. Imagine the Bucks over there. Nobody would be talking about the Bucks.
Yeah, I agree with Adrian. That match with the New Day. Also, the one with Harper and Rowan was really good too. When the Harper and Rowan were the Bludgeon Brothers, that was another solid match too. The Usos have had a lot of good ones. Mo Camera sent in a $2.79 super chat. Says, shout out to Aaron, Big Face, and Steve-O.
Dude, look at how ugly he is. Is that his picture?
Mo, what's up?
Is that him? Is that Mo Camera?
He's on the naughty list forever.
I mean, I don't know. He'd be handsome if he had some hair on his head. But whatever.
All right. Anyways, best tag team of the year. That's a tough call. I would go with the Usos if they were a team the entire year, which they were not. That's the only reason I'm not picking the Usos. Entertainment-wise, I'd probably go with RK Bro, but I think from start to finish the full year, I agree with PWI. I would go with the Young Bucks. I don't know if they're going to win or not, but they were champs for most of the year, and every time they wrestled on pay-per-view, they had a great match. So I'm going with the Young Bucks on that one.
And great matches are subjective. If you like that kind of style of match today, a lot of fans have left watching wrestling because they don't. So again, very subjective. So very niche audience that's putting Young Bucks over as number 1. So it is what it is, right? Oh, wait, he's not here. Hey, Stan, has Jeff Meacham been a good boy this year? Because I was supposed to have him on tonight, and he had something come up.
Jeff is a good boy when it's convenient for Jeff. That's why Santa's filling in tonight, because Jeff's had a very naughty type of day. He's actually under the weather today. So,
well, we're going to move on to the next topic here, and we're going to talk WWE Power Couples. So when we think that, we think of Triple H and Stephanie. Okay, but like there's this new one cropping up, and I don't know what's going to happen 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And I'm not saying like these two are going to be, working behind the scenes up the corporate ladder like Triple H and Stephanie, because obviously Stephanie's Vince's daughter. But Seth and Becky, like I think these two are going to be a power couple in WWE, and they're going to placate into this at some point. I really believe this is going to be something on TV. If they don't, it's going to be stupid. But look at the stuff Seth's wearing. Look at the stuff Becky's wearing. This is just inevitable. So Santa Claus, has Seth and Becky been naughty or nice? And could you see them as at least an on-screen WWE power couple in the future?
Well, if you go strictly on wardrobe, definitely the naughty list, especially for Mr. Rollins. Goodness sakes, what a terrible set of clothes he's had on the last few weeks on Monday Night Raw. But I guess it really depends on the way you look at things, Virtue, because if you look at the whole little, for lack of a better term, tiff she and Charlotte had over the last weekend in October prior to Halloween, it seems that Becky got the better end of that because she's not getting the universal hate that Charlotte is. So she's definitely got the power on that front. With Seth, I mean, it seems as though the man can do no wrong. He's got a great television character that people seem to get behind, good or bad. You know, they either really like him or they really hate him. And I happen to think he's one of the bit more engaging personalities on that 3-hour long trek that is my sleigh ride. I mean, Monday Night Raw. It seems about the same length of time. So are they a power couple in the whole company? I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but they definitely have a lot more say and sway with the fans than they used to.
Well, it was more of a going to be. Like, here's the thing, Santa.
Right.
Seth came out and cashed in against Roman and Brock at a WrestleMania to become the WWE champion. He basically was pushed before Roman Reigns in the main event. I mean, you know, at least as a champion. Becky came back after becoming a mom and instantly won the title from Bianca Belair. They're behind these people, always have been. I think Seth even beat Brock at a WrestleMania.
He did, and
Becky won that match against Ronda Rousey and Charlotte. I mean, if I'm projecting, they like these two. I could see down the road them trying to do, like, again, I don't know. I see power couple all over. WWE power couple all over this because, for quite honestly, you know, Seth would jump to AEW, but what can they do to keep him there, make him feel important? They don't want to lose everybody, exactly. Santa, I'm going to go over to Steve-O now. I want to hear Steve-O's thoughts on this.
Yeah, of course. I definitely see some good potential in them becoming a power couple for the WWE. I mean, they kind of are already in some ways. Like, I mean, they're very on top of their games. They're in top programs. If Seth ends up winning the title at either day one or the Royal Rumble, I say let's go with it. Let's have them be an on-air power couple. Becky, Big Time Bex has the swagger to her. She's doing those flashy outfits. Seth himself are doing those flashy outfits. I say let's do it. I think that's like a perfect gimmick. When is the last time we had like a power couple in the WWE on the level of a Triple H or Stephanie McMahon? Do any of you all remember?
Not at that level. No, I mean,
I say why not? Let's do it. I mean, they kind of had like that on-air presence a while back when they were feuding with Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans. I thought that might have led to something, but screw it. I say
they never really did anything with Nikki and John Cena, did they?
No. Just the proposal of Mania, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, Aaron, let's just avoid the troll comments if we can from that knucklehead. Thank you.
All right, well, he did send a super chat. He sent in $2.79. He says, Becky is horrendous on the mic. P.S. I love AEW.
All right. You know, he keeps commenting off topic to a certain extent, and he's also trolling. So either time him out or get rid of him. For Santa's sake.
Santa is not amused, and if I want to stay on the nice list, I better listen to Santa Claus here.
Yeah, he's calling out. He wants debates against me. I think Mo Cameras wanted to debate Jeff Meacham in the past, but I never see him actually reaching out to Aaron to try to make it happen. But anyway, Aaron, over to you. You got some super chats to read. I want to hear your opinion on this.
All right. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, shout out to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Thank you for that, Psycho Jet Black. I like Rudolph. And Dwayne Atkinson sent in a $5 super chat. Says, Seth Rollins should not be on the naughty list, but his fashion designer should definitely be. LOL.
I will concede that. Very good. Yes. I will concede that. Yes. Agreed.
I like his outfits.
I do.
What do I know?
It's something different.
He wants people to talk about him, and they are.
There you go.
And it reminds me of Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart would wear all those outlandish outfits, but you know what? That made him stand out, and Rollins stands out with those outfits. You know, he's doing whatever he can to make himself stand out from the rest of the pack. Santa.
Absolutely.
If I may, Aaron, there's a gentleman watching on Jeff's channel, JJ, the Casting Studios, is saying that he thinks Miz and Maurice are more of a power couple than Seth and Becky. I tend to agree with that as well.
I forgot about them. I mean, mid power couple, but
yeah.
Yeah, I would say that there's really no duo since Triple H and Stephanie that politically have as much power as Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. They're both main event superstars. Miz and Maurice can come and go. And Miz, even though it feels like he's a lifer in WWE. You just don't know. But with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, they're both at such a high level that it makes them powerful in the sense that WWE, if they get rid of one, they have to get rid of both of them. And that would be a pretty big blow to lose both of them. One of them, they'd probably be fine, but both of them, I think would definitely be a major void in WWE. So that helps them out. And I think that gives them negotiating power for future contracts and gives them pretty much a guarantee that they're going to have top spots for years to come. Yeah. And I don't think they're going to leave. And if they keep their egos in check, I think they'll be around and there's not going to be any issues, but you never know. Anything can happen.
I may take Virtue off here, but what about Cody and Brandy?
Well, not in WWE.
Oh, no, not in wrestling in general, I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's weird because it's like they want to be Stephanie and Triple H, but in AEW.
Yeah.
You know? So that's it. I mean, you're not ticking me off with that. Like, that's what they want to be. I agree with that. Will they be deemed as that? I don't know. Cody's got some heat right now with that fan base for whatever reason, but
yeah, Tito says WWE has terminated half of the couples before. That's true, but again, Seth and Becky are at another level. They're not Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis. They're not even Karrion Kross and Scarlett. They're at a whole different level than
the booking. They've been booked strongly. Yeah,
absolutely. And let me get to this other one here. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, can Montez Ford and Bianca Belair become a power couple? I think so, but it's going to be a while. They're both still on the rise, and I don't think either of them are going to be in danger of being released anytime soon, but they're not quite at Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins' level. Seth Rollins is a multi-time world champion. Becky Lynch, one of the only females to main event WrestleMania. You know, they're in an elite tier that neither Montez Ford or even Bianca Belair have reached yet. And Dwayne Atkinson sent in a $5 super chat. Says, if Andrade had stayed, would him and Charlotte have been a power couple as well? I like Andrade, but with all due respect to him, he was not even close to Seth Rollins' league as far as his accomplishments. Nothing against his talent. He just wasn't at that booking level where he was even close to being in the position of Seth Rollins. And
allegedly, Charlotte tried getting a story with Andrade, and apparently she was turned down.
Yeah, so she's only got so much influence.
Yeah,
exactly.
And let's see. Walter Cruz sent in a $5 super chat. By the way, Big G and Steve-O, you guys can chime in with these. Walter Cruz sent in a $9 super chat. Says, $1 per reindeer, and AEW should be smart and make Cody and Brandy Rhodes a heel power couple. Keep up the good work, everyone. Well, we all know Cody doesn't want to turn heel. I don't think that's going to happen.
He said that clearly on TV too.
Yeah. So I guess we'll throw it over to Big G now. Any thoughts on those super chats and the overall topic?
Well, now that they're both heels, it should work out better with them being an on-screen power couple, because when they were both faces, I thought that was just horrible. But, you know, they're at the top of their league right now. Like you said, Becky is the Raw Women's Champion. Seth is going to face Big E and Kevin Owens at day one for the WWE title. Will he win it there or Royal Rumble? But regardless, whether he has the title or not, Seth Rollins is at the top of his game. The outfits that he wears, it might be outlandish, but that's him. He's evolving his character. So is Becky Lynch. I believe they have the same fashion designer. I think it was one of Becky Lynch's friends or whatever, and they decided to use their friend for their outlandish clothes that they wear on Raw and SmackDown.
Is Seth in the WWE title picture?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're both.
He's
I don't know if they're both going to have.
He's facing Big E and Kevin Owens at day one, I believe.
I don't know. I mean, I want Big E to not have a. Yeah, I could see Seth and Becky both having titles.
You know, you can tell outside of WWE they're a power couple already too. I mean, Seth has his fitness. He's got like a coffee shop and then a couple of shops out in Iowa. Becky's doing her thing. So I mean, yeah, it works. But if they want to learn from their mistakes from last time, don't do what you did last time. And you have Cody and Brandy over in AEW, kind of as a power couple, but not really, because you really don't see Brandy as much anymore. And then somebody brought up Britt Baker and Adam Cole. I mean, they haven't even been together on AEW.
The Young Bucks are in the way right now.
Right, there you go. And it's you got Miz and Maurice. You said the mid power couple. I mean, they just came back too. And
Edge and Beth Phoenix.
We could potentially see a mixed tag team match with, like Aaron just mentioned. Like I was literally thinking on Monday Night Raw when Edge and Miz, were talking on the mic, and I was like, well, I see a mixed tag team match in the near future. I mean, Beth Phoenix is over with NXT this coming Sunday.
Yeah.
So, and she's still in great shape, so why the heck not? But yeah, that's my take on it.
I would really pop if they put the WWE title on Seth. Sorry, Big E, and Becky still has her title, and they literally are together on screen a lot with the titles in their wardrobe, like heading into Mania. Like, to me, I would pop for that, and I would be like, yes, here's my money. Let me buy shirts. I'll mark out. I'm entertained by outlandish stuff, right? That's what WWE does. Not like they used to, but when I see a little glimpse of it, Big G, that's why I made this a topic. I dig it. I want to see where it goes.
There you go. That's a great comment. It's funny because
what did he say?
Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus is a great power couple. So
can't argue that.
I'm on TikTok a lot, and there's people that make these videos with like Seth Rollins. I know Santa. Anyways, and they have Seth Rollins coming out to like other people's entrances, like Shawn Michaels, and it works. The way he comes out, the way he does his little sway and stuff like that, it works. So anything you put with Seth Rollins works. I mean, the man is gold.
Except for him and Becky on screen together.
Yes.
Well, like I said, if they want to do it again, they need to learn from their past mistakes.
Santa,
yes, sir.
The fan that attacked Seth, thoughts. I only need your thoughts here because that's what matters.
Naughty list for life. Goodness sakes. And again, I understand the gentleman apparently got, what's the term you kids use? Catfished. That's unfortunate, but also the Barclays security department definitely needs to have a once over, because at the Hall of Fame with Bret Hart and now this fan with Seth Rollins, that's both events at Barclays. So somebody in the New York security office needs to get their proverbial coal out of their ho there and figure out what they're doing with themselves. Mistakes.
Thank you. We needed that input for sure, though, because that fan is definitely naughty. All right, Aaron, some super chats before we move on.
Yeah, we got a couple here which are kind of off topic. Mo Camera sent in a $2.79 super chat. Says Cody will turn when Wyndham debuts and challenges him. I don't think Cody's turning, and I'm not even sure if Wyndham's going to show up in AEW, which we've talked about, Virtue.
Yep. I'll believe it when I see it. Well,
Kyle O'Reilly has a better chance of showing up in AEW.
Like, I feel like if Wyndham shows up in AEW, I will be genuinely more shocked and surprised than I was buzzed for Daniel Bryan or CM Punk, because right now I just don't know what he wants to do, and it would be surprising and shocking.
Yeah.
So
I seem to think
so maybe.
I seem to think like maybe Bray Wyatt is just biding his time, doing some other stuff, and he's gonna wait it out for a while and see if WWE calls him back and says, "Hey, let's do business again." That's kind of my gut feeling at this point, but we'll see. Yeah. Maybe Tony Khan will bring in the buckets of cash, and Wyndham will end up in AEW.
Santa has a comment.
Yes,
Santa Claus.
I think Barry Windham showing up is more likely than Wyndham Rotunda right now, because Ric Flair's almost there anyway. We have all four horsemen there. Just throwing it out there.
Okay.
Well, Santa, has Tony Khan asked you for Wyndham Rotunda for Christmas?
Tony Khan doesn't need to ask me for anything. He's got more money than me, it feels like.
Wait. When is Santa Claus going to become all elite?
I'm sorry?
When is Santa Claus?
WWE is sports entertainment. AEW is professional wrestling. So I don't think we're going to see Santa Claus in AEW.
You know what? Never say never, Mr. Riff. Never say never.
Yeah, that is true. Maybe we
You
will
caught
get
up,
Santa
Aaron,
Claus in
on the
AEW.
super chats?
No. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania. No, AJ is going to be lucky if he even has a match at WrestleMania 38.
Oh, goodness. Hot take from Rift.
Might be a good take, actually.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
You're
at
not
this
wrong.
point,
I'm
probably
just saying, hot take.
you know what? You have a better chance of AJ Styles versus Omos at WrestleMania 38 than you do AJ versus Seth.
That I will agree with, Big G. Good show, youngster.
This is all I got to say. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Oh,
The Dre.
jeez Louise.
Did
And
they
I
have
hate
that
to
last
say
year?
that.
I don't
It was
think
on
they had it last
SmackDown.
year.
I hate to say it too, but
Oh, that's right, on SmackDown.
Yeah,
that's
Jey
right.
Uso won it.
the SmackDown before
Oh!
WrestleMania.
hey, we got an interesting one here. Psycho Jet Black, this is for you, Santa Claus. He says, "Hey Santa, how naughty is MJF? He's a real jerk."
That'll
That
segue
guy's
into
a
our next
prick.
topic. He's a prick. Ooh.
Wow, coming from a
Santa
Santa Claus.
Claus.
Yeah, permanent naughty list. He cussed out his mother on Twitter for crying out loud.
Damn.
Commit to the bit.
This is a good point from Joey, though. That's very true. Although it wasn't the real Santa. Stone Cold proved it.
Aaron, you ready for the next topic? Because I'm coming to you first on this. We're gonna catch up.
Dub. Hey,
We're gonna-
dub.
We're gonna catch up on AEW here on the NoDQ review. So we know about Cody versus Andrade and how Cody put Andrade, or wait, was it Cody putting Cody through the burning table? Bryan Danielson's run now, right, getting pushed into the main event scene with Hangman Page, and of course, Aaron, the greatest promo in the last 20 years, according to some dirt sheets, and I know you really like this.
Yeah.
And that's why you wanted to go first. But the 20-minute epic verbal confrontation between MJF and CM Punk, and the floor is yours.
I've really been enjoying AEW the last several weeks. Since Full Gear, I think that they've moved in a really good direction. I like what they're doing with Bryan Danielson. I'm really enjoying the MJF CM Punk stuff. Although I feel like with that 20-minute promo, maybe they used up all their material on that one show, because this past Wednesday it felt like they were kind of just rehashing the stuff they said the previous week, and I don't think it was quite as good as the previous week in Chicago. But nonetheless, I'm really enjoying MJF and CM Punk. Bryan Danielson, I should say. I don't want to use his slave name. Bryan Danielson, he's got his match coming up with Adam Page. I'm really looking forward to that one. They're doing it at Winter is Coming. I think that's the right time to do it. You don't want to wait too long. Winter is Coming is a good venue for that. They're going to be doing it in Texas, where all the Cowboys are, the home of the Cowboys, near Dallas. So I think that's going to be a really hot match. And wait a second, I guess we're going to have to take the camera off me, because we got – is that Joker?
No, that's Harley.
Where's Joker? We got to have the new cat.
He's
But,
relaxing. He's still getting used to the house.
we could still have Harley on here too.
Don't you hiss.
All right. Anyways, I think AEW's been putting out some great television. I loved the main event with Cody and the fire. I enjoyed it. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, "Will MJF ever bring up Colt Cabana to CM Punk?" Ooh, that would be interesting.
At this point, yeah.
I
can
would
see
be.
it
I
happening.
would be
Do
intrigued
it, like-
by that.
Do it. I mean, the regular fan, casual fans don't watch AEW. It doesn't matter. So yeah, bring it up.
Yeah, I mean, and the only negative about AEW right now is that it seems like they're moving in the wrong direction when it comes to the Dynamite viewership. They've had Thanksgiving as an excuse. They've had sports as an excuse, but this week, I mean, even Dave Meltzer said this was not a good number for them. So that tells you something. And I think that with Winter is Coming, maybe they can start to move in the right direction. But I think unless they have a new star that resonates with a casual audience, I think that this is where they're going to be. They're going to be 800,000, 900,000, and that's going to be the fan base. And if Tony Khan can be profitable with those fans, and they buy the pay-per-views, and the merchandise is good, and they can make a profit, then more power to them. But I don't see the numbers going back up unless they have that new star, because anything short of The Rock or John Cena or Brock Lesnar, CM Punk and Bryan Danielson were the biggest guns that they had, and they've gone down from where they were a few weeks ago, or a few months ago, I should say. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Oh, I said that one already. Dwayne Atkinson sent in a $5 super chat. Says, quick question: should Hangman Adam Page lose the title to the new heel Bryan Danielson, and do you think CM Punk will screw MJF and win the Dynamite ring? That's interesting. Both of those are interesting.
Yeah.
I guess we could get everybody's take on both of those questions. I would not be opposed to Bryan Danielson winning the title. I don't think he will, but I think it would make for an interesting turn of events, because everyone's already thinking, Adam Page is going to be champion for 6 to 9 months, maybe a year, because every AEW champion has had a lengthy reign up to this point. Why not swerve everybody and have it be a 1-month reign? But of course, AEW fans would get mad, and I think Tony Khan is really careful about not pissing off his core fan base, right? So I don't think they're going to go there, but I would be intrigued by it. And MJF getting screwed by CM Punk, yeah, might as well, and give MJF a reason to be pissed off and wanting to take care of CM Punk. And Walter Cruz sent in a $2 super chat, says, who will be the AEW champion first, CM Punk or MJF? I say MJF. I agree with you on that. I think it'll be MJF before it'll be CM Punk, but we'll get everybody else's thoughts on those questions. So, Virtue, back to you.
I think Bryan Danielson could actually win this title, and it will be a short run for Hangman Page. I mean, why not? If you want to get more heat on him from the AEW fans who think Hangman should have a longer run, do it. Hangman can win it back again, right? Right? We've seen feuds where the heel comes in and wins the title, and the babyface chases it, wins it back. Why not? Right? We don't always need to have every title reign that long. What was the other question, Aaron? That was the only one I was paying attention to.
CM Punk screw MJF to win the Dynamite ring or whatever.
I don't know if CM Punk's gonna. I mean, MJF would do that to win it, so I'm not gonna. I wouldn't see the swerve and have CM Punk do that. No. What do you guys think?
I'm gonna go with no, but I think that MJF won't win the Dynamite Diamond ring this year.
Big G.
Here's a question. Big G, maybe you could give your thoughts on this one. Should CM Punk and Daniel Bryan become a 2-man power trip? That's from Psycho Jet Black.
I mean, if CM Punk turns heel eventually, yeah. Because, I mean, we have a heel Bryan Danielson right now. So, I mean, I know CM Punk wants to team up with Bryan Danielson again. That'd be something cool to see. MJF winning, or CM Punk screwing over MJF to win the Dynamite ring. I don't see that happening. And I could see Bryan Danielson winning the world title at Winter is Coming here in a couple of weeks. Kenny Omega won it against Jon Moxley last year, in a heelish way. So who knows what happens,
Now, Big G, I got a question for you. Do you think AEW has been as intriguing as it was like 6 months ago? And why do you think the numbers are down a bit? Do you think it's sports? Do you think it's just the holidays and people aren't really interested in watching wrestling?
We've said that about WWE too, with, Raw competing with Monday Night Football and all that other stuff. I think nowadays with the numbers, you have to remember, people DVR their shows. They, I think the streaming services, they go in with everything, but like if they illegally stream it or something like that, or if they don't watch it at all anymore, they might have said, oh, I gave AEW, 2 years of watching, and they really haven't done anything to grab my attention. They're just not going to watch anymore. But it is the holiday season too. I'm not going to blame it on the holidays, but
WWE's numbers are slightly going up lately. Why is AEW's going down?
Exactly,
platform.
It could just be what AEW is showing. Like I said, some people might not want to watch AEW. That's just not their thing. And
I mean, you went from Kenny Omega to Hangman Page, and your numbers are going down.
Exactly. You need. Don't get me wrong. Hangman Adam Page is a star in the making. Kenny Omega has been around a lot longer than Hangman has been.
Yeah,
but
and
AEW, I mean, they are doing some good stuff now. I did enjoy that promo battle between MJF and CM Punk. I was like,
yeah, you might as well talk about that right now.
We should have gotten this one. If they wanted to strike the iron hot with CM Punk, they should have done this when CM Punk first came in.
100%, yes.
But yeah, MJF was doing his thing too. But whatever. But now we're getting it, and like Aaron said, he was right. They kind of rehashed what they kind of went to last week, but I'm sure they can come up with some good material and keep this feud going. I mean, I don't know when we're gonna have a match. If it's gonna be Winter is Coming in 2 weeks' time, or the next pay-per-view is not until February. I mean, I don't know. They might just have it on Rampage for all we know. That's how AEW does things.
right.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't lost faith in AEW. I mean, they're still coming along. They're still young. They're still fresh.
You always got Britt Baker.
I always got Britt Baker.
Raider.
They have to work out their kinks, just like
so,
WWE.
Steve-O, I'm going to come over to you on this topic, talking about AEW here.
Yeah.
And so that's my point. When this promo was happening, like I knew it was good between Punk and MJF, and it went 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I saw how social media wrestling fans, as they're watching, couldn't help. They went right to Twitter. They had to go quick and put it out there as the best ever instantly. And that ruined it for me. And
That made you mad.
But listen, to my point, and you said this.
They triggered you.
To my point, and you said this, what did they do the following week to follow it up? They blew their wad, and now the next week, that's why you don't do that, right? You give them something to clinch onto to come back. You did one of the best promos of the last 20 years, and your ratings were under 1 million. And the following week, when people had a chance to see it on the internet that didn't watch it, your ratings go down even more. It was a good promo for the audience that got it. For people that run websites like Aaron Riff, for AEW fans like Big G and Steve-O, it was the best of all time. But to a big audience that has been abandoned out there, they don't give a shit about that promo. They don't get the inside references. It was just average. Like, who are these guys? And Punk, wasn't he a guy that got beat up in UFC? So it was a good promo for the diehard wrestling audience. It did nothing for the growth of AEW. That's my take, Steve-O. What do you say?
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, it wasn't as strong as the previous week's MJF and CM Punk scuffle, which was really awesome and definitely something that's been needed with CM Punk since arriving in AEW. I mean, that match with him and Darby was fun, but then we had a lot of filler matches with him challenging all these new up-and-comers, and it's like, okay, really, who cares about this? They should have, going into Full Gear, it should have just been him and MJF going at it. I think that should have been the feud they did there and then. But hey, better late than never.
When ratings were over 1 million still for Dynamite, boom, absolutely.
Hey, Steve-O, here's a question for you.
Yeah, go for it.
Do you think that AEW doing the really slow-paced booking is hurting their television viewership? Like doing these matches, CM Punk versus Daniel Garcia, or Daniel Bryan Danielson versus 10 or 5 of the Dark Order. Like if I'm a casual viewer, I don't care about the squash matches. And they're not even squash matches, they're competitive matches. And it got to the point where I actually like that MJF did this. MJF's like, how is CM Punk struggling against one of these rookies?
That was a good line.
That cracked me
I
up.
like that. But it's like, I'm all for squash matches, but it seems like AEW's every week they're doing these star versus young guy. And to me, it's kind of played out. Yeah, let's make the young guy look good. That's all fine and dandy. But when every match is like that every week, it kind of gets old. And you don't want to go the other extreme with
just
what
WWE
does.
Yeah.
WWE does star versus star every match, and they just repeat the same matches every single week. And that's boring too. You need a balance. And I think each side is at their own extreme, and I think they both need to find like a happy medium. What do you think?
Absolutely. That's been what's most likely hurting the ratings. I mean, I'm an AEW fan and I've personally been enjoying it, but yeah, you can't deny the ratings have been going down. I think it's because of stuff like, okay, CM Punk versus the Moriarty guy, whatever his name was, and
Lee?
Yeah, Lee Moriarty. Thank you. There's a Lee Johnson, Lee Moriarty. You can't. I don't know. At some point they mix them together.
Right.
But anyways, like yeah, like stuff like that. Like I mean, they should have like done some kind of like a feud, like even if it was just like a 2-week feud, maybe even him and Jericho or something to get these casuals to like continue tuning in. But once they see like these enhancement matches, yeah, they're gonna get bored about that. I mean, Bryan Danielson's been fire. I've been enjoying like his feud, even though like it's with the Dark Order, like and having like some of these little spats. I mean, he makes the matches great. He's one of my favorite guys, so makes it for entertaining television. I want to be opposed to him taking the title off of Hangman Adam Page. I think maybe he should hold it until Revolution, or maybe Double or Nothing, where MJF takes it. I don't think it needs to be like nearly a full year title reign. I think that maybe they should make this reign a little bit shorter next time. But I mean, I've been enjoying the shows for the most part. But yes, absolutely, like some of these like slower builds is what's killing the TV. But you don't want to go into WWE rematch palooza every week.
No,
otherwise we're gonna it's just gonna get ugly. And I think another problem is like they do have some high profile matches on Rampage, which is in a terrible time slot. Fans made an exception once because CM Punk was returning, but no one wants to like tune in. I'll admit it myself, an AEW fan. I don't always watch Rampage every Friday night, despite
I don't either.
stuff.
And Steve,
the day after.
Yeah.
Jargo had an interesting point. Like TNT Friday nights in that time slot would air like a Marvel movie, and you'd only get a couple 100,000.
Yeah.
And during Dynamite's time slot, it would be the same thing. They'd air like an old movie that people have already seen. They only get a few 100,000. 800,000, 400,000 or 500,000. That's way more. Like that's why the network's happy with wrestling, because it's doing better than movies.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I get it.
But look, so they're happy with that. But like, I think they're settling. Like, don't you want to? If you want to beat WWE, you want to, and they have an opportunity to do it with as crappy as WWE has been. Tony Khan needs to put his foot on the gas.
Yeah, and he's bragging about the numbers and all that stuff, and then you see
Rampage
one in SmackDown.
Lows.
Like there was a point something, and Tony Khan was bragging about that when SmackDown was on FS1. I was like, okay, get a life. But
it's like an inside joke to the Dirt Sheets. Anything else you want to add? Because we've neglected Santa for a while here, and we got to get him to talk about this. So.
I'm going to be quick. The final thing I want to say about last night's Dynamite, Cody Andrade, awesome match. But yeah, that last spot, they should have thought it out a little bit more, just because it looked like Cody got, I don't know, like falling through a table that's on fire and then being able to get up and pin your opponent. That was a little bit much. And yeah, that's all I got to say.
Santa, any flaming tables up in the North Pole?
No, definitely not. And I do know that immediately after last night's show, we got a emergency fax for a request for a skin graft for Cody for Christmas, and I'm working on that right now as we speak. Look, I've been around a long time, longer than you young pups here in this room.
That's true.
Wrestling has always been about characters and about story. Even in the shoot days, you still had the characters, Ed Strangler Lewis, those type of people holding the championship, right? So for Hangman Page to be champion long term, it doesn't necessarily tell his story the best way, because he's always been one to fight from beneath, the one who has to be chasing. As he's defending, yes, he has a heel Bryan Danielson with him, battling his boys in the Dark Order, in the meantime, while they wait for that match to happen. So I agree with the people in the room that are saying that it'll be a short reign, and either Winter is Coming or even as far off as Revolution, Bryan Danielson will be champion. As far as CM Punk screwing MJF, that does nothing for either of them, because CM Punk shouldn't have to screw MJF if he's telling MJF how lame he is, yet he has to resort to shenanigans to win his ring. MJF losing the ring by CM Punk screwing him makes him more of a babyface, which is not what they need to do with MJF. So there you go.
Well, words of wisdom, Santa Claus. You have been on. You are doing all that stuff and having the elves make the toys and planning out what you're going to be doing on the 24th and 25th. And
that's why I keep muting my mic because there's noise from the toy making in the background.
Wow. Aaron, before we move to the main event, any super chats?
We do have a few. Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. He says, Santa, what's your thoughts on the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Now, I can't be biased toward one team or another. That wouldn't be proper, but I will say, damn boys from Dallas. Very good. Okay.
Where did Big G go?
Oh,
yeah. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
I don't want to. I'm not. Yeah.
All right. Well, Big G can answer this one. Or just give your thoughts on it. Wardlow, Ricky Starks, and Will Hobbs are the future. What do you think about that?
Wardlow can be if he gets away from MJF. Will Hobbs, possibly. And same thing with Ricky Starks. They need to break away from these teams and do their own thing. I mean, I hadn't seen Ricky Stark before AEW, and I know he was in the NWA for a while. Jeff Meacham can attest to that. But, if they need to break away from these, like Team Taz and the Pinnacle and MJF and, do their thing. But, if Wardlow is going to be MJF's better word lackey for the rest of his AEW, you can't really do anything. Just same thing with Hobbs and Ricky Stark.
Yeah, I mean, I think the jury's out with all three of them. Real quick, Santa. Colin Andrews said that the Brandy Rhodes, her lighting the table was poorly done. Do you think Colin Andrew is on the naughty or nice list, Santa?
I think Colin's definitely on the nice list. He's had a heck of a year. God bless him. And he's right about the fuel thing. We've seen people light the tables for other people. Lita did it for McFoley and Edge, and that was perfect, even though they both got pretty banged up. You can see how bad Cody turned out last night. Not a good look across the board. As far as what Big G was talking about, I agree that Ricky Starks should break away from Taz because Ricky Starks has that ability to speak for himself. He's got charisma for days. As far as Hobbs, I don't think he has that ability to not need a mouthpiece if he's going to be that next level star. He needs somebody to speak for him, whether it's Taz or not, which Taz's speaking ability, there's an audience for that. Jeff doesn't agree with that. I tend to agree with that. Taz has a good audience for himself. So whether it's Taz or somebody else, seconding Hobbs, Hobbs definitely needs that mouthpiece guy.
Did you like Taz doing the Steiner math on Dynamite?
I thought that was pretty neat. I'm not gonna lie. I even chuckled at that.
But as Virtue would say, that's something that's a nod to the diehards. That's not going to bring in any new viewers to AEW. Virtue, Game is on 100 sent the challenge, beat AEW in the 18-49 demo. That's bad.
Yes.
What's the challenge? A show?
That's some MTV show.
That's an MTV reality.
I didn't even know MTV still got ratings at all. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know.
Cable in general is bad. I mean, I know it's social media, it's streaming, and people consume television differently now, but some shows, sporting events, still get tons of viewers on TV. You can still get people to watch TV if you're good. If you make yourself worthy enough.
Very true. You look at South Park, their demos were through the roof when they did those pandemic specials.
Well, but they're also staying topical, and South Park has always had that audience that'll be loyal to a friggin' fault, to be fair.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. We ready for the main event?
Let's do it.
Yes.
And of course, we get it's Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, because on SmackDown tomorrow, is Brock going to be there? Allegedly, is that what we're hearing?
Yep.
Coming back, suspension lifted. And it's interesting because we have day one coming up. We have Royal Rumble coming up at the end of January. So this proposes the question is what's going to be happening here? Why is Brock coming back? Are they going to get a Brock versus Roman match out of the way at day one at Royal Rumble? And if so, who wins? And if Brock isn't going to be in Dallas, why are we doing this Brock stuff so soon? I mean, 2 nights in Dallas in that stadium, you think that they might have a deal with The Rock? Roman mentioned it on the Tonight Show, which, by the way, did anybody ever talk about the Tonight Show ratings getting a jump up when Roman was on there? And I know talk shows late at night don't get the ratings that they did back on the Carson and Leno and Letterman days, but it was still a spike. And so what's happening here? I mean, I'm still going to go on my gut that we're going to get Brock and Roman sooner rather than later. And the 60-40, I'm saying Rock's going to be against Roman at WrestleMania, which is more than a coin flip for me. Santa Claus. We talk about this every now and again, but when Brock gets ready to return, we put him on the show cover and talk about him, and people tune in. The casual fans, the Brock Lesnar fans tune in, so we got to talk about it. Santa Claus.
I feel that they are going to go with Brock sooner, whether it's day one, and whether it's Royal Rumble. I feel they need, if they're going to pull the trigger early, to quote, you guys using the trigger word all the time, if they're going to do that, they need to do it for day one. Because day one is definitely one of those, you're not going to get a casual fan not watching the Rose Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, the other 29,000 football games that day. So I would say if they're going to do it, they need to do it right now, like end of the month, first of the year. And I say that because they need to justify that being a thing in Vince's eyes, because them putting the pay-per-view on New Year's Day is a very, very risky idea. Royal Rumble, it's on a Saturday anyway, and I think they have competition on that day too with other sports things. So WWE is really going to have a tough time, even with other than their diehards tuning in, because they've got all this competition from legitimate sports competition as well as other entertainment ventures. So if they're going to do Brock early and not do it in Dallas, it's got to be a day one. For my money doesn't amount to much because I have infinite amounts of revenue, but I would say day one for Brock if they're not going to do it at WrestleMania. And as far as The Rock, the fact that Rowan mentioned on the Tonight Show, and yes, it did pop that rating. Jeff talked about that last week, I think, on his show. That's something. The fact that it's actually being mentioned on NBC leads this old man to believe we're going to see The Rock.
I mean, I got that gut. It's a gut feeling, right? I don't have the dirt. Right. I don't know. The timing of it. Like Aaron, you said this so many times. If they did that in Los Angeles, like the rose would be way off the bloom by then. I mean, sure, it would still work in theory, not Austin theory. Who knows where he'll be pushed by then? But it just feels like it's got to be this. But yeah, this next Mania. But it's The Rock, and he's the biggest star in Hollywood, so it gives us doubt. Aaron, I'll pass it to you next.
Okay.
Thanks, Anna.
If it's not The Rock versus Roman Reigns in Dallas, like Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns seems like the match. But yeah, I was a little surprised when they announced that Brock Lesnar's suspension was being lifted. I was like, well, this seems awfully fast. Yeah. So what's going on here? I suppose they could do Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, but to me, that's not a big enough match to be the marquee for WrestleMania. I think you need Brock Lesnar or The Rock if you're going to truly sell out WrestleMania. I just think that it's going to be a struggle. They're doing pretty well with ticket sales, but you're going to need something to boost those numbers. And I remember in 2016, WrestleMania ticket sales were not doing super great. It wasn't until The Undertaker was announced versus Shane McMahon Hell in a Cell that they were able to increase their ticket sales, and they got to that number where they could say, hey, we got 100,000 people here, which of course is a number that they make up. But they did get a boost from The Undertaker versus Shane McMahon being announced. They need something, and I don't think it's going to be Undertaker versus Roman Reigns. I don't think they're going to have Undertaker wrestle again, but I feel like they need something. So if it's not The Rock and they're doing Brock versus Roman Reigns before that, what are they doing? Drew McIntyre triple threat maybe? Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see over the next several weeks what they got planned. Day one seems too soon. I would if you're going to be doing Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns again, I would do it at the Royal Rumble in the stadium, not at the basketball arena. Big G?
Are you guys forgetting that Sami Zayn won that Super Battle Royal?
Yes.
So I feel like Sami Zayn's going to battle Roman Reigns at day one and then we're gonna get Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble.
Okay, which says then we're gonna get it again at WrestleMania, right? So we're kind of like seeing Brock's back early,
right?
What does this all mean?
Real quick, and I met WrestleMania in 2016, WrestleMania 32. I said WrestleMania 16.
Yeah, isn't that WrestleMania 16?
My bad on that. Let me get to these other super chats here, and then we'll pass it over. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, "Is John Cena coming back for WrestleMania 38? Depends on his movie schedule. Santa doesn't think so, but if he's free to make an appearance, he'll be there. But I don't even know if he's going to wrestle. You know, he's got so much going on now with his career that I think if he comes back, it's going to be down the line. It's not going to be in the immediate future." Walter Cruz with a $5 super chat says, "I feel they are going to make Sammy get destroyed by Brock Lesnar. He becomes #1 contender. Then Roman Reigns versus Brock at day one, and Rock will be at WrestleMania. Maybe." Yeah. Well, we'll see. I if it was my call and Rock was available, I mean, you absolutely got to do Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania in Dallas. That's the right time, but who knows what's happening?
I'm okay with Brock and Roman. I mean, you know, it's still not bad, but we've seen it so many times.
Right, and plus it's like you're just waiting until that match gets set up because you're like, well, nobody's beating Roman Reigns until then. So
and that bloodline storyline, it makes so much sense with The Rock. Just so much sense. Santa?
Well, I was just gonna say, Big G actually caught Santa off guard. I actually forgot about Sami Zayn's #1 contender spot. Santa actually forgot something this close to Christmas. Not a good sign.
We know it's throwaway, but yeah.
But and again, you know, I don't mind necessarily Sami Zayn being the challenger at day one, but Brock getting involved almost has to be a thing at that show, just because nobody's going to believe it's going to be a competitive thing between Roman and Sammy. So Brock being the red herring, if you will, has to be a thing. And I honestly wouldn't mind Sammy at day one, Brock at Rumble, and then we get The Rock to come back. That'd be okay for me, personally.
Yeah. We're also forgetting about Goldberg. They never delivered on that Roman Reigns versus Goldberg match at WrestleMania. Maybe that's what they're going to do. Maybe they're thinking, let's just do the Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns rematch, and then maybe Brock wins the title at the Royal Rumble, and Goldberg and Roman Reigns is not for the title. It doesn't necessarily need to be for the title, and Brock Lesnar could defend against somebody else.
Right.
Oh, here's a comment. Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. Says, "How about a babyface Bobby Lashley versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 38?" Well, I would rather see Lashley versus Lesnar for the title.
Yes.
Have them compete for the title and then do, you know, Roman Reigns versus Goldberg, whatever. They could do that. Right. I'd be fine with that.
Now, before I pass it on, Santa, I got a question for you. Like, obviously, we start talking about Roman and the Brock, and we're flirting with the three figures, 100+ viewers. It always happens. But has Roman Reigns been naughty or nice?
You know, Roman.
I mean, there's two sides to it, right? Because he's Make-A-Wish too.
Roman's one of those where, Virtue, I'll be honest with you, as a fan, I've enjoyed the work. I've enjoyed what he's done. I've enjoyed the fact that he's finally embraced that, he had to get, bring up that killer instinct out of himself and to be this dominant champion. He's been champion for over a year. It's been wonderful to see his character development. But as far as naughty or nice, I mean, you do what you have to do in the world of sports entertainment to remain champion. So in that vein, I'll say he's neither been naughty nor nice. He's done what he has had to do.
All right. Now, we got a couple other opinions we need to get here on the main event. Steve, I'll come right over to you.
Fair enough. Yeah, so this Battle Royal, I know that they said it's for a future title shot. Was it guaranteed at day one? I don't recall hearing that.
I don't think so, but
it could be on SmackDown tomorrow for all we know.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to go with some kind of direction like that. Like it could either they'll have the match tomorrow night or next week, and then Brock Lesnar does something, or just Roman Reigns squashes Sami Zayn. I don't think that's going to play out all too long, and that was just a big waste of time either way. But yeah, I think that like announcing Brock returning so soon, they're probably going to just have it go on day one. I think they're going to do that. Maybe they'll have some kind of spackle rematch at Royal Rumble because that's the kind of thing they do. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Like, I mean, if they don't do Brock and Roman at day one, then I think there is a decent chance it could extend into there. But Aaron mentioned earlier about Drew McIntyre coming into the equation. I could see like some kind of a triple threat among Drew, Roman, and Drew, Roman, and Brock at WrestleMania if they can't get The Rock. I hope they can get The Rock because they really do need him. It sounds like otherwise we're going to have more Brock and Roman matches, and I don't think we really need too much more of those.
Right. Yeah.
Goldberg is entirely. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying like one more is enough, I think.
Agreed. They might go with Goldberg. I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to think if Brock is going to come out a champion in one of these matches if they do end up having them. It's hard to bet against him not winning the championship. Yep. But I guess like if they either get Rock or Goldberg against Roman, maybe Brock and Lashley will have their match finally at WrestleMania, be it for the title or not. But that's just my envisionment. But if I were to make a final guess, I think they're going to go with like Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre triple threat at WrestleMania because they all have some kind of history together. So I think that's probably where we're going.
Here's another thought.
Sure.
Big E. I'm enjoying what he's doing, but the WWE title run, I'm not sure how I feel about it. Like I'd like to see Bobby Lashley get the title back, and then maybe Lesnar
wins the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, Lesnar ends up facing Bobby Lashley for the WWE title, and then you could do Roman Reigns versus Goldberg for the Universal title at WrestleMania. Like that's a possibility.
I'm game for that.
If The Rock is unavailable. I just want to see Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar, something different, something we haven't seen before.
Absolutely.
Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, "Will Sami Zayn be a heel against Roman Reigns or turn face?" I don't even think they're going to have a match, guys. I think Brock's just going to F5 Sami Zayn, and then Sami never gets his match.
Yeah, and you got to realize, people,
it's a joke. It was a comedy.
At some point, they're going to like Roman's going to be pushed as a tweener, like they're gonna push him back babyface, like the cool edge, like how Stone Cold morphed. I know that's what they're gonna try to do. So at some point, it doesn't matter who's heel or face against Roman Reigns. If he's cool, you're a tweener, right? Santa, what would you say? Is Roman growing towards more of a tweener than a heel right now?
I will agree with that.
Show gimmick. He broke kayfabe.
Put the comment back up.
Yeah, go.
Aaron, put the last comment back up. The one you just took down. Thank you. That is the complete falsehood. Big E looked so strong in that match, considering it was Roman Reigns, considering it was the guy who's run through everybody like a hot knife through the proverbial butter. Big E put up a heck of a showing. He looked really good at Survivor Series. So that comment is ridiculous. And I'll agree with that too. On both fronts there. Riddle has the charisma, but he's a freaking comedian at best. I do agree with Aaron that the match with Sami Zayn, if anything, is going to be a quick little, either it's going to be a quick match or it's going to be Brock just running and going, nope, not happening. So again, there's a comment on Jeff's channel, Sami Zayn has fallen so far from grace. He came in with the momentum from NXT. He was a likable babyface. And in the last, it's been a couple of years, he's just completely crash and burn. So I don't see him being credible in anything he does at this point. So it almost has to be Brock Lesnar either at day one or Royal Rumble just to make it worth watching that match. And as far as Goldberg coming in to face Roman just as a match, even I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I do think it needs the title because why else would Goldberg come back unless it's for the championship? He already got his revenge on Lashley. Why would he come back except to not be a champion again?
Well, Santa, if they would just do the right thing and have Riddle drop that goofy gimmick, turn heel on Orton, which would be totally what you wouldn't think would happen, so they can establish Riddle as a heel fighter guy that just wants to kick ass. There's your WrestleMania match with real, to make the fans suspend their disbelief. Riddle, Goldberg.
Well, if Riddle were to turn, actually get serious, it would be the ultimate Christmas wish.
That's what would need to happen.
I can't grant that one. So,
that's a tough one, huh? You can't put that. I can put that on my list, but you can't make it happen.
I will do.
Not even your best L. All right, Big G, try it. You never know. Send some of your best L's to Vince McMahon's office. See what happens. Big G.
I don't know what else to say. You guys.
Then we can wrap the show up. But you got.
Yeah, you guys all made great points, and you know what? I haven't done this in a while, but I'm agreeing with everybody. What everybody just said.
What do you want? What do you want for WrestleMania? What would make for their big main event? Roman versus The Rock, Bloodline.
If possible, if Santa can make it happen, I would love to see The Rock versus Roman Reigns. I think that is the match.
And The Rock's last match ever, right?
I mean, he
goes in the Hall of Fame in Hollywood the next year.
Yeah, I mean, he has so much going on right now. I mean, he would have to take a little bit of time out of his busy schedule to do this. I mean, have him show up at the Royal Rumble and then, start building that feud up, and then don't have him show up until the next year.
What if he won it?
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Want to pop some ratings. There you go. Yeah.
But honestly, I think we're going to get Roman Reigns in a triple threat with Drew and Lesnar, or Roman versus Drew, or Roman versus Lesnar again, which I'm fine with. I mean, they never had a bad. I mean,
they're really telling a better story now with Heyman, right? It's better than the last feud.
Right, and the roles are reversed now. Lesnar is kind of a baby face. I mean, he's still a badass, but the roles are reversed. Reigns has Heyman as his lackey now, and so I mean, whatever we get with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania should be good. Sorry, not should be, will be good, because Roman Reigns is literally red hot right now.
The best thing in pro wrestling right now, because he popped a number. Because he popped a number on the Tonight Show, absolutely.
Because it's numbers that determine if you're great or not.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. I mean, really have great numbers, so they're not
really.
Great.
I mean, that's a main factor. That's a main factor of why you're great or not.
All right, let's get to these last super chats. Well, this one's for you, Virtue. Why all the love for cats? Where's the dog love? You have a dog. Where's your dog?
They're in the other room, and they'd be barking and distracting from the video. So they're in the other room.
So you want to bring Hunter over?
No.
Same with me. I got a dog. That's actually my niece who made that super chat, along with my family.
Maybe in an upcoming review, I'll let him make a cameo.
All right. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, "Is Goldberg really that popular with casual fans?" I think so. I think
jocks. A lot of 45-year-old jock that used to be jocks in high school. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Goldberg does bring in some casual viewers. Otherwise, they would not use him. I think there's a reason they bring him in, and that's that people that usually don't watch WWE will check it out to see him.
Yeah.
All right. Think we're caught up?
All right. Well, let's go around and do our plugs and see if we can get out of here. You know how that goes. And Big G, I will start with you.
Yes, NoDQ.com/BigBallaG takes you to my Twitter. And if you happen to have TikTok, if you don't, I don't really care. You can follow me there at BigBallerG1988, and you will see some hilarious cat videos. My cat was attacking Hulk Hogan today on TV, by the way, which was hilarious. I was watching Jeff Meacham. Actually, was watching it earlier, and I happened to see it on Tubi TV. That Santa with muscles, and the opening scene, my cat decides to jump on the TV stand and starts clawing at Hulk Hogan. I was like, okay. Well, we know she doesn't like Hulk Hogan.
Did Kevin Dunn make that TikTok?
Nah, I don't know.
It kept.
That's just naughty list here, and that's shame on you for that. That's terrible.
Naughty list.
You're getting there, brother.
All right, Big G, you're done with your plugs?
Yeah. Oh, Psycho Jet Black has a $2 super chat for Santa. Santa, what are your thoughts on Home Alone 3?
Garbage.
Nicely said.
Yeah, well, I mean, did it have the wet or sticky bandits in it?
No, it did not.
Exactly. I mean, who cares about Macaulay Culkin at that point? But it didn't have the bandits in there. Forget it.
It did
It
not.
had none of them in there. None of them were in that.
None of them.
Okay, Big G, you're good?
Yep, I'm good.
Steve-O.
All right. You can follow me on Twitter at SteveOJ. You could also follow the Too Sweet Cosplay brand. Next week, we're actually going to be at C2E2 in Chicago at the McCormick Center, December 10th through the 12th. There's actually going to be some wrestlers. John Cena is going to be there Saturday. There's going to be some AEW wrestlers. Check out c2e2.com and also check out at Too Sweet Cosplay on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as YouTube. That's all for me.
All right, good having you on. And, of course, over to you, Santa. I know you're a busy guy, and you got to get back to the Christmas biz.
I do indeed, but you can book me for a virtual appearance right here on there it is, right there on your computer screens at Santa Claus JDM on Facebook and Santa Meech on Twitter, or you can contact my my other buddy Jeff Meacham for more information on the booking fees. So there you go. There's where you can find jolly old Saint Nick. They're good old.
Nice.
JDM.
Jeff Meacham's your agent, huh?
Very much so. Yes, he knows what he's doing.
All right.
With that.
Nice.
Good times. Well, thanks for being on, and you're welcome on again as we're heading into Christmas. All right, Aaron.
Yes, make sure you guys follow Santa Claus on Twitter and Facebook, and yeah, book him. He'll do some videos with your kids, make for some fun memories. Santa Claus.
Absolutely. I actually have repeat customers this year. I'm enjoying the bookings coming in. It makes me feel even more jolly than I usually do.
Yes, so
Nice. Aaron,
All right.
it's your turn.
and
Aaron loved that. You love Santa's laugh. It mesmerized you.
it did. It brought me a lot of joy in my heart.
Go get the catnip ready.
Oh yeah, get the cat and go get that dog. Go get Hunter in here. Here's the no DQ standings, as you can see. I am about to lose this Sunday because I feel like I'm going to bomb the NXT pay-per-view with the predictions, and Big G will get ahead of me. But we'll see. Maybe I'll end up being right on all of them. Who knows? Where's the cat? We need the cat. We need Hunter.
They're hiding.
What about my other puppy, Seamus?
Oh yeah,
Sheamus.
Seamus.
Famous, huh?
Hunter and
anyways,
Seamus.
guys-
I know.
Mine's Finley.
Finley, okay.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys stay tuned to NoDQ.com for all the latest wrestling news and rumors. And we do have one more super chat here from Psycho Jet Black before we wrap this up. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, Santa, what is your favorite type of alcohol?
Whatever they put in eggnog, delicious stuff.
Oh, wow. I figured you would have said moonshine.
Oh, no. And just moonshine. No.
And Curtis Butler, is he going to be on the naughty list for having so much negativity here? He says, F. Kevin Dunn, his Uncle Dave, somebody named Bixspan, Brad Shepard, Bruce Pritchard.
Bixen span.
Harley.
Santa's neutral on those.
Mm-hmm.
You got her? Get her.
Are they
Big
here?
G's lost his mind back there. What is happening?
All right, we got them both. Now we're
Hey, stop kissing.
cat fight. We're going to have a cat fight on camera.
Oh boy.
Joker and her.
It's Santa Claus, not Joey Styles on the show.
Oh.
Can't have a cat fight on Joey Styles.
Now that's-
Ratings.
Is that Harley that you're holding, Big G?
Yes.
And she does not like the other cat, I can tell.
No, she is.
Oh boy.
Can you hear her? She's like growling.
I heard that growl.
Oh.
She is growling.
Give it time. Give it time.
Heather. All right, we're all set here,
It takes
Virtue.
time. All right, you can follow me on Twitter where I am no longer a troll slayer.
What?
Have a good time
Worse.
over there. At NoDQ_virtue over on Twitter. Aaron, where's my graphic? Do you have it up yet?
No.
See,
There it
you
goes.
still don't have my
wrong
new.
one.
Yeah, I got a new one, and he still hasn't put it up yet. But that's fine. It'll be up there before Christmas, I'm sure. But yeah, over on Twitter at NoDQ_virtue. And of course, you can tune in right here to NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel pretty much every Thursday night at 8 p.m. for the NoDQ review. Go to NoDQ.com/merch, and there's some new shirts up there, the Big G shirt, the Virtue shirt, all the Jeff Meacham stuff. Well, not all of it, but whatever you have posted over there. Wait, sorry. Santa, does Jeff Meacham have his merchandise from the North Pole on your shop as well?
Jeff's stuff is over at jeffmeachamnetwork.com, but there is a Jeff Meacham Meachamania set of merchandise on Aaron's website. Yes.
Cool. Just making sure because he's not here and I didn't want to incorrectly speak. But that is it, folks. This has been the No DQ review number 164. So for Aaron Rift, for Big G, for Steve-O, and for Santa Claus, I am Virtue, and we will see you next time.